Hello everyone and welcome to Dr. Sophie's Senior Advice. Do you ever feel that your children are ignoring you or treating you disrespectfully? Have you ever found yourself trying to retain your cool, unsure of how to respond without exacerbating the situation? In this video, we'll go over a strong yet easy 6-step technique that will not only help you deal with these difficult situations, but will also strengthen your relationship with your children in ways you never imagined. By the end of this movie, you'll know how to prevent conflict, strengthen bonds, and maintain emotional equilibrium, transforming tense situations into chances for growth and respect. These are tried and true tactics that you can implement right away, no matter how bad the situation appears to be. Stay tuned, since this isn't just about resolving issues. It is about developing long-term trust and a more harmonious relationship with your children. You don't want to miss out on these practical strategies for improving your communication with your family. If you are not already subscribed, I recommend doing so and using the notification bell to ensure you do not miss any videos. Step 1. Keep your emotions in check. The first and most important step in navigating the tumultuous waters of parent-child relationships is to learn to control your emotions. When your children ignore or disrespect you, it is natural to feel angry, frustrated, or upset. These feelings can feel like a fire inside, waiting to ignite. While these emotions are real, acting on them rashly can have more negative consequences than positive ones. So before you react, pause, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and remind yourself that your calm is more than simply a temporary remedy. It is a strong message of resilience and internal strength. By being calm, you create an environment in which unwanted disputes are avoided, allowing the situation to de-escalate before it begins. This does more than merely protect the moment. It creates a ripple of strength across the partnership. Your children will perceive that you are emotionally stable. They will be gently encouraged to reflect on their acts, possibly for the first time, recognizing that they have not shaken you. Your serenity becomes a mirror for them, displaying confidence and wisdom, and teaching them how to deal with problems without becoming enraged or resentful. More significantly, regulating your emotions allows you to think clearly and purposefully. When rage clouds our minds, we frequently say or do things that hurt deeply. Words that, once expressed, cannot be taken back. These outbursts of emotion can have long-term consequences for the relationship, leaving wounds that take years to repair. However, by practicing emotional control, you ensure that the words you speak and the acts you conduct are motivated by love and care rather than transient frustration. It is critical to remember that regulating your emotions does not imply suppressing how you feel. On the contrary, it is about accepting those emotions and using them effectively. Recognize your anger, hurt, and disappointment, but do not allow them control you. Instead, use them as tools to help you find a solution that deepens your relationship with your child. When your children see a parent who can remain calm in the face of hardship, they learn a valuable life lesson. It is possible to tackle obstacles with grace, maturity, and self-control. They will realize that strength comes from rising above the chaos with dignity rather than shouting louder or retaliating with disdain. Over time, their admiration for you grows, and they learn to emulate your emotional fortitude in their own life, enhancing not only their relationship with you, but also their relationships with the world around them. By mastering your emotions, you become a light of emotional intelligence, guiding your children to a healthier, more peaceful relationship. Step 2. Show understanding without giving in. Once you've regained your emotional equilibrium and gained control of your emotions, it's time to take the next essential step in strengthening your relationship with your children, showing understanding without giving in. After cooling down, resist the want to instantly impose your authority or respond with criticism. It's normal to want to rectify their behavior in the moment. But before you react, pause and consider what's going on behind the surface. What drives their actions? What message are they trying to convey? possibly unintentionally through their contempt or defiance. Children's behavior is frequently influenced by feelings they do not understand or express, such as insecurity, fear, or tension. At first sight, it may appear that your children are purposefully pushing your buttons, testing your limits, or demonstrating complete disrespect for your sentiments. However, something more sophisticated is usually going on underlying such behavior. Perhaps they are dealing with thoughts of inadequacy or frustration that they are unable to verbalize. Perhaps they are overburdened by something in their lives, and their disrespectful actions are simply an outlet for those pent-up emotions. Perhaps they are seeking attention in the only manner they know how, even if it involves conflict. Recognizing this involves not just patience, but also a willingness to look past the present behavior and get to the heart of the situation. When you take the time to understand what is going on, you are not justifying their conduct, but rather choosing to address the problem with empathy and concern. This empathy is what lays the groundwork for meaningful and lasting communication. Holding space for your children's feelings, even the unpleasant, messy ones, demonstrates to them that you are more than just a disciplinarian. You are really concerned about their well-being. This does not imply that you should tolerate disrespect or ignore their awful behavior. Empathy is appreciating the complexities of their feelings while also holding people accountable for their actions. Consider this. When your children act out, they are often expressing a need, even if they are unsure what that need is. It could be a need for attention, validation, or simply the want to be heard. By reacting with empathy, you allow kids to explore their needs without fear of punishment or condemnation. This can be really powerful. When children feel understood, they are more likely to lower their shields, allowing for an open and honest conversation. Showing empathy does not imply allowing yourself to be insulted or walked over. It is critical to set clear limits and inform your children that some behaviors are not acceptable. However, it is equally necessary to strike a balance between boundaries and understanding. Empathy permits you to keep your job as a parent while also connecting with your child's inner environment. You demonstrate that, while you will not accept bad behavior, you are concerned about their feelings and challenges. Step 3. Setting clear boundaries. The next critical step is to define defined boundaries. Boundaries serve as a foundation for both your relationship and their behavior, offering structure, stability, and a better awareness of accountability. It's vital to remember that setting limits isn't about controlling your children, but about guiding them to make better decisions. By calmly stating what is and isn't acceptable, you foster mutual respect and clarity. When establishing limits, the manner in which you convey them is just as crucial as the rules themselves. Instead of using authoritative tones or threats, communicate your expectations clearly and assertively. Let your children know what actions are unacceptable and be explicit about the consequences of crossing those limits. The key here is consistency. Children should understand that your boundaries are not arbitrary or adjustable based on your emotions. Your firmness should be consistent, but your tone should be soothing and non-threatening. This technique teaches kids that their choices have consequences while avoiding emotional conflict and power disputes. When limits are presented calmly and consistently, your children will realize that these guidelines are not just for punishment, but also for fostering a healthy, respectful, and caring atmosphere. They begin to understand that boundaries are designed to aid, not to constrain them. This understanding promotes a sense of security. Knowing that you care enough to establish restrictions gives them a solid foundation on which to build. Boundaries also serve as valuable life lessons. Children thrive when they grasp the rules and expectations that govern their behavior. Without boundaries, kids may become disoriented or overwhelmed by the world around them. However, with clearly defined boundaries, they get a sense of order and purpose, learning how to handle relationships and obligations in ways that benefit both themselves and those around them. However, these boundaries must be maintained in balance. It is critical to avoid implementing either strict or overly permissive standards. Too many limits can inhibit your child's independence and inventiveness, whilst too few might leave them feeling lost and confused of how to act. When establishing limits, strive for a balance that gives structure while also allowing for personal growth and expression. For example, if your child repeatedly violates curfew, gently explain the reasons for the curfew and the consequences of breaking it. Set a clear curfew of 9 p.m. for health and safety reasons rather than imposing punitive punishments. If you come home late again, you will lose your phone privileges for 1 week. This type of boundary setting teaches your child that their actions have immediate consequences, and those consequences are based on real-world issues rather than artificial rules. It's also vital to remember that repercussions should be equitable and proportionate to the behavior. If the punishment is excessively severe, your youngster may become resentful, resulting in more conflict rather than cooperation. However, if the punishments are too lenient, they may disregard the limitations. Finding the correct balance ensures that your child knows the necessity of following the rules while not feeling unfairly targeted or too constrained. Calmly setting boundaries also helps you avoid the emotional confrontations that frequently follow discipline. When you respond to your child's conduct with anger or impatience, the situation can quickly escalate into a fight, leaving both you and your child feeling angry and detached. Maintaining a cool and composed demeanor conveys a clear message. The limit is unquestionable, but you do not want to make them feel awful or ashamed. You're here to help them make better decisions, and the barrier is merely part of that process. This way of setting boundaries is especially beneficial since it helps your child understand the concept of accountability. They begin to understand that their acts have implications not only at home, but also in the world around them. Whether they're in school, at work, or in a relationship, every decision they make has a cost or a benefit. By continuously imposing boundaries at home, you are preparing kids for this reality. You're teaching children that their acts in life are important, and they must accept responsibility for them. Boundaries also help your youngster gain self-control over time. As people see a continuous relationship between their behaviors and the outcomes, they begin to reconsider their options. They begin to anticipate the consequences of their actions and hence learn how to self-regulate. This self-discipline will benefit them throughout their lives, allowing them to make better decisions in both personal and professional situations. Furthermore, by setting boundaries in a calm and compassionate manner, you demonstrate emotional maturity. You demonstrate to your children that it is possible to be firm without losing control, and to be forceful without being aggressive. This teaches kids that strength comes not from shouting or demanding submission, but from standing firm on your principles and standards. They will gradually adopt this conduct, gaining their own feeling of calm authority and emotional balance. Furthermore, setting boundaries helps you and your child develop mutual respect. When they see that you are consistently explicit about your expectations and fair in imposing sanctions, they will come to trust your judgment. They may not always agree with the boundaries you establish, but they will see that you are acting out of love and concern for their well-being. This regard is the foundation of a strong long-term relationship in which people feel safe under your guidance and confidence in your leadership. It's also important to examine and alter boundaries as your child grows and matures. What was once appropriate for a smaller child may no longer be essential for a teenager or young adult. As your child's demands and talents evolve, so should the boundaries you establish. This flexibility illustrates to your child that limits are not about controlling them for the sake of control, but about supporting their development at all stages of life. Involving them in boundary talks, especially as they become older, creates a sense of responsibility and respect. It demonstrates that you value their feedback and are eager to collaborate in developing a framework that works for both of you. Step 4. Set the example you want to see. Children are like mirrors, continuously reflecting the actions they see in their surroundings, particularly from their parents. They learn a lot more from what they see than what they hear. While words can lead children, It is your deeds that have a lasting impact. If you want your children to respect you, you must first respect them. If you want someone to listen to you, you must first exhibit your willingness to listen to them. Every tense situation presents an opportunity for you to model the behavior you want to see in others. If you are still viewing this video and finding the teachings valuable, please leave a remark too below to let me know you are still with me. Imagine your child in a state of rebellion or frustration. They're not just listening to what you say, they're closely watching your every action to see how you handle the conflict. How do you respond when the tension rises? Do you handle their outburst calmly and patiently, or do you let your emotions take over? Your ability to remain serene and attentive in these challenging situations conveys a more powerful message than any lecture or punishment. By showing patience and self-control, you teach your children one of life's most important lessons: how to handle conflict with grace and maturity. Your children are monitoring these simple, seemingly commonplace moments and learning how to navigate the world with integrity and respect. There will undoubtedly be instances when you fall short, when your patience wears thin, when you snap in anger, or when you don't manage a situation as gracefully as you could. And that's fine. These times of imperfection present another excellent teaching opportunity. When you make a mistake, admit it openly, apologize to your children as needed, and explain what you could have done better. This not only demonstrates accountability, but it also promotes the notion that mistakes are a natural part of life and that how we handle them is what matters most. By demonstrating humility and a willingness to grow, you educate your children to accept their flaws and approach life with a learning and improvement perspective. Consistency in your acts fosters trust. When your children see that you stick to your words and constantly model the behavior you expect from them, they will develop a greater trust in you. They'll know they can trust you to lead by example, which enhances the parent-child link. It fosters an environment in which students feel comfortable expressing themselves, knowing that they are being led by someone who not only talks about principles but lives them on a daily basis. It's natural to become reactive during disagreements or tensions, especially when emotions are high. However, these are the times when you must demonstrate your ability to model the desired behavior. If your child raises their voice, stay cool. If they disrespect you, be patient. If they reject you, remain open to understanding. By doing so, you demonstrate that conflict does not have to turn into negative. Instead, it can be negotiated via mutual respect and a desire to listen and learn from one another. Furthermore, when your children see that you are walking the talk, they will be more likely to follow your example. It's one thing to instruct kids to be patient, kind, and responsible. It's another to demonstrate what that looks like in action. If you continuously demonstrate tolerance, kindness, and responsibility, you are giving children a pattern for how to behave. They will begin to internalize these ideals, not because you commanded it, but because they have witnessed directly how these traits can improve their lives and relationships. Furthermore, the example you set now will have a long-term impact on how your children handle their future duties as parents, spouses, and community members. When they face obstacles or disputes in their own lives, they will apply the lessons they learned from observing you. Your actions will guide them through the difficulties of relationships with grace and integrity. It's also crucial to understand that the example you set affects not just how your children behave, but also how they perceive themselves. When you show them respect, patience, and empathy, they will come to believe that they are worthy of that respect. They gain a greater feeling of self-worth when they realize that they are valued not only for what they accomplish, but also for who they are. This feeling of self-worth is a valuable tool that will enable them to maintain good relationships, set boundaries, and treat others with love and respect for the rest of their life. Finally, setting the example you want your children to follow is one of the most powerful and long-term strategies to shape their character. Your deeds speak louder than words. They learn by observing how you deal with life's ups and downs, treat others, and manage your own emotions. By continually embodying the principles you want to inculcate in them, you are not only teaching kids how to act, but also how to live with integrity, empathy, and strength. Finally, this is the best gift you can give them. Step 5. Create moments of connection outside of conflict. While it is critical to recognize and correct disrespectful behavior, your relationship with your children cannot be built exclusively on conflict and discipline. A truly strong parent-child tie is cultivated and cemented outside of tough situations, when things are quiet and the emphasis is on connecting and sharing experiences. These exchanges build the groundwork for mutual respect, understanding, and trust. When your children feel intimately linked to you outside of conflict, they are considerably more likely to automatically show respect and attention, especially in difficult situations. Creating moments of connection begins with providing your children with quality time that is free of distractions, such as work, electronics, or other everyday activities. Stay fully present at these moments. Set aside time to truly connect with them, whether through conversation, shared activities, or simply being together in a calm setting. It is not enough to simply spend time with them. You must also create meaningful events that enhance your emotional bond. When children feel that they are a priority, that they are appreciated not only when there is a problem, but also when there is calm and quiet, they feel more secure and trusting. Active listening is one of the most powerful methods to connect with others. Allow them to express their thoughts, feelings, and experiences, and listen without judgment or interruption. When you take the time to actually listen to them, you send a powerful message that their voice is important, that they may come to you with not only their difficulties, but also their joys and interests. This act of listening not only strengthens your link, but it also fosters an environment of open communication in which your children feel comfortable sharing their inner world with you. In addition to chatting and listening, sharing activities can be an effective approach to enhance your bond. These activities do not have to be complex or pricey. Something as simple as playing a game, going on a stroll, making a meal together, or working on a project can foster connection. These shared experiences produce memories that strengthen your emotional bond with your children, giving them a sense of belonging and acceptance. The more good experiences you share, the more kids will identify their relationship with you with feelings of warmth and security, resulting in increased respect and consideration. It's crucial to recognize that generating these moments of connection reduces the frequency and intensity of unavoidable confrontations. When a youngster believes they have a strong, good relationship with their parent, one based on trust, love, and mutual respect, they are less likely to participate in behavior that undermines that relationship. When things go tough, the emotional tie serves as a buffer. Instead of viewing conflict as a battle to be won or a power struggle, they come to perceive it as a blip in an otherwise loving relationship. This completely changes the dynamic, making it simpler to resolve disagreements using empathy and understanding rather than wrath and defensiveness. Furthermore, when children feel emotionally attached to their parents, they are more open to receiving advice and correction. They understand that the boundaries and regulations you establish are not arbitrary or dominating, but rather stem from a genuine care and concern for their well-being. This recognition builds a deeper sense of respect, as they realize that your responsibility is not only to impose laws, but also to assist them in navigating life's problems in a way that promotes their growth and pleasure. These moments of connection provide your children a sense of belonging, which is important for their emotional growth. When kids feel genuinely linked to you, they know they have a secure, caring place to return to, no matter what occurs in their lives. This sense of stability allows kids to build a positive self-image as well as a stronger capacity for empathy and respect in their interpersonal connections. In essence, the relationship you form with them serves as the foundation for how they interact with their surroundings. They learn to give and receive respect because they have witnessed it firsthand in their connection with you. Another crucial component of generating these moments of connection is to show your children that they are valued and welcomed for who they are, not just what they do. Celebrate their abilities, promote their passions, and let them know that they are valued simply for being themselves. This promotes a strong sense of self-worth and confidence, making them more inclined to exhibit respectful and caring behavior. When youngsters feel valued and accepted, they are less inclined to act out or seek attention with unpleasant conduct. Instead, kids will automatically exhibit actions that reflect the respect and affection they have received from you. A strong tie formed during these moments of connection also serves as an excellent breeding environment for mutual respect. The more your children feel loved, admired, and accepted, the more they will express those feelings through their actions toward you. They will be more inclined to listen, collaborate, and show respect, not out of fear of punishment or a desire to please you, but because they really want to continue the great relationship you have built. Respect emerges organically out of the love and connection you share, rather than something you have to demand. Creating moments of connection not only strengthens family bonds, but also prepares your children for future relationships. These good encounters teach kids skills such as listening, empathy, cooperation, and respect, which will help them engage with friends, instructors, colleagues, and future spouses. By demonstrating healthy, caring interactions, you are providing children with the tools they need to form strong, respected connections with others throughout their life. These moments of connection also help your children feel emotionally anchored, which is especially crucial in today's fast-paced, frequently stressful environment. When they realize they can count on you for love, support, and understanding, they gain the emotional resilience to face life's obstacles with confidence. They know they have a safe place to return home, so they can tackle challenges with greater serenity and control. This emotional foundation strengthens their ability to act respectfully and thoughtfully even during times of stress or conflict. Step 6. Give them space to reflect. After you've calmly addressed the situation and established clear limits, one of the most important stages is to allow your children time and space to think on their actions. Change, particularly in how children respond to authority and respect boundaries, does not occur quickly. As much as you would like to see an immediate improvement in their attitude or conduct, the most significant adjustments often take time. By allowing them the space they require, you facilitate a natural process of self-reflection and personal growth, far more valuable than any forced response. When children are allowed space to evaluate their acts without the pressure of immediate repercussions or the expectation of instant sorrow, they are more likely to internalize the lessons you've taught. Pushing too hard for an apology or rapid behavior change can sometimes backfire, resulting in resistance, resentment, or even more defiance. Instead, patience fosters an environment in which your children may grasp why respect is important and how their actions affect others, including you. Giving them space does not imply that you are letting go of the problem or downplaying the significance of their behavior. Rather, you're helping kids to develop self-awareness and emotional intelligence, which will benefit them for the rest of their life. Over time, they will learn to consider their actions, the boundaries you've established, and the repercussions of breaking those boundaries. This type of mental processing is significantly more effective than merely following regulations for fear of punishment. It helps students understand the underlying reasons for respect and responsibility, which are the foundations of mature, respectful behavior. Giving your children opportunity to reflect allows them to take responsibility for their own development. They learn that change does not necessarily have to be caused by external forces, but can instead emerge from inside. This promotes a sense of autonomy and personal responsibility as they realize that their actions have genuine consequences, not just in terms of discipline, but also in terms of how they affect their relationships and self-esteem. This process demands some patience on your part. It is natural to expect quick benefits after setting boundaries or addressing a problem, but maturing is a lengthy process. Children, particularly as they progress through the developmental phases, require time to process and apply what they've learned. In many circumstances, the lessons you teach today may not take full effect until much later. However, rest certain that these seeds of wisdom are being planted. If you try to force a change or demand that they recognize their mistakes before they have had time to process their feelings, you may unintentionally put them on the defensive. When children feel trapped, they are more prone to dig in their heels or resist against what they see as authority. However, by taking a step back and allowing them room, you give them the dignity to reach their own conclusions and insights, resulting in far more effective and long-lasting learning. Maturity necessitates time and tolerance, both from your children and from you. Believe in the process. With the correct assistance, the boundaries you've established and the lessons you've taught will eventually take hold. It's not about controlling every moment or dictating their every action. It is about guiding children to a more profound knowledge of respect, responsibility, and personal development. Additional tips for strengthening your bond and improving communication. Now that you've learned the 6 fundamental steps for dealing with disrespect in a calm and constructive manner, let's look at some extra tips to help you develop your link with your children and improve family communication. 1. Learn to let go of small conflicts. Not every tiny argument or provocation must be escalated into a conflict. Some confrontations are not worth the emotional investment required to engage in them. By choosing your battles properly, you may concentrate on the topics that truly matter rather than becoming bogged down in daily provocations or petty violations. This does not imply ignoring problems. Rather, it means being selective in where you intervene and allowing natural consequences to teach the lesson. If your child leaves their room filthy for the 100th time, rather than turning it into a daily dispute, you may create a broader boundary and tie it to a meaningful consequence, such as limiting screen time until their room is cleaned. The goal is to direct your efforts toward the larger lessons while letting go of minor irritations that can lead to unneeded conflict. Over time, your children will realize that not everything has to be a dispute, and they will learn to accept responsibility for their behavior without frequent reminders or arguments. 2. Involve your children in family decisions. Giving your children a say in topics that directly impact them increases their sense of belonging while also instilling a stronger sense of duty and respect. When youngsters believe that their thoughts are respected, they are more likely to take an active role in family life and cooperate. This also helps kids build problem-solving abilities by teaching them to consider the ramifications of their decisions and collaborate to find solutions. For example, if you're organizing a family vacation or establishing new house rules, seek their input. Allow them to feel like an active participant in the decision-making process. This offers kids a sense of empowerment and teaches them that respect is a two-way street, requiring them to consider the viewpoints of others while also expressing their own. 3. Acknowledge their progress. It's tempting to focus on negative actions, but positive reinforcement is equally important, if not more so, in influencing your child's growth. Make time to recognize and appreciate modest victories, even if they appear insignificant in the broader scheme of things. A simple acknowledgement of effort, for example, noting when they've been more respectful or made an attempt to improve their behavior, can go a long way toward reinforcing the behaviors you want to see more often. Children thrive on good comments. It inspires them to keep growing and striving for improvement. When people perceive that their positive efforts are recognized and appreciated, they are more likely to continue similar behaviors, knowing that they are loved and respected in return. 4. Admit your own mistakes. One of the most powerful things you can do as a parent is to recognize your own mistakes when they occur. If you overreacted or handled a situation incorrectly, do not be afraid to apologize. This is not a sign of weakness. Rather, it is one of the most powerful symbols of strength and humility. Admitting when you're wrong teaches your children that mistakes are inevitable, and that it's normal to learn and grow from them. It also demonstrates to kids that even adults are on a path of constant self-improvement, which can be extremely empowering for them to observe. 5. Maintain a long-term perspective. Change, particularly in family dynamics, requires time. It isn't about quick cures or immediate outcomes. Every effort you take to foster a calmer, more respectful relationship with your children is an investment in your family's long-term health. Don't be disheartened if you don't notice immediate results. Patience, perseverance, and love will result in the transformation you seek over time. By following these last suggestions, you'll be better prepared to tackle daily problems with greater calmness, resulting in a more harmonious family environment based on mutual respect and understanding. Final thoughts. How do you respond when your children ignore or insult you? With these tools at your disposal, you may now approach these situations with calm, emotional intelligence, and confidence. Remember that retaining emotional control, understanding without giving in, setting clear limits, and allowing your children to reflect will not only strengthen your relationship with them, but will also guide them toward more respectful, conscientious, and responsible growth. As we near the end of this guide to dealing with disrespect from your children and creating a strong, respectful family bond, take a minute to think on all we've covered. What have you learned thus far? Have any of these 6 steps struck you as particularly meaningful? We ask you to sit back and consider one major lesson or technique that you believe could make a significant difference in your family life. What will you put into practice beginning today? We'd love to hear your opinions. Please leave a comment below and share one item you've learned that you'll use to improve your family dynamics. Your experiences can also serve to inspire others in the community who are facing similar issues. If you liked this video, please leave your comment below and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content on creating stronger, healthier relationships.